How you going, folks? Welcome to the channel and to my next project, my HZ Holden One Tonner. This car has served as a faithful work hack for me over many years, from doing things like firewood every season to cleaning up around the block. And just your typical leisurely Sunday drive.
I'm always fucking up the right shit.
Unfortunately, this car is the epitome of Grandpa's axe. If you're not familiar with the saying, it goes a bit like replace the head 3 times and the handle twice. And that is this car in a nutshell. A few years ago, I said I wanted to redo this car. This cabin chassis was no good for rebuilding. It's far too rusty. So a few years ago I picked up another cabin chassis with tags, and I decided that I wanted to put everything that was good from this into that one. After I said that, nothing really happened, so it sat out there in the paddock for a while. So now's the time to do it. I got sick of it sitting out there, and I couldn't think of a better time to get stuck into it and do something with it. So here is the cab and chassis that we're going to be rebuilding. I've got the tags for this tucked away in a nice safe spot in my room. First off, what I had to do to get this thing rolling was to slap some axles in a diff housing and bolt it in, but as simple as that sounds, it wasn't that simple for me. Over the years I've had rabbits fly out from cars in this area, and I always wondered where their burrow was. Turns out their burrow was directly underneath the cab of this thing, so all the ground surrounding it was undulating, which made it a great pleasure to try and find a jacking spot to get the car high enough. But thankfully I could get the car high enough to get the U-bolts in and get some wheels on it so that we can get this thing rolling. Alright, so the cab's off purely because it was annoying me that it was on backwards. And while it's off, let's run through some of the things on the cab, some of the really strong points why I'm pushing forward with this cab, and stuff to look out for when looking at these cars. So obviously you can see a big wallop through the roof here, and it's no gutter there. It does need some rust repairs in the roof and in the cow. It's pretty standard for a 1-tonner. If you can find better, then good for you, but I'm going to keep on going with this one. Now, someone's absolutely loved this thing. As you can see, the sill panel's been unpicked. Sill panel, that's going to clean up really well with a good blast. Does need some rust repairs through here, but again, let's have a look at these floor pans. Now, front floors need repairs. Old mate's unpicked it through here, and it's absolutely mint. He's also unpicked this off. That's where the cab bolts down to the chassis. But looking at their inner sills on the back side, you know, they're really good. And like even the floors, it's still got the original overspray on there. Has got a couple of dents here. Like one there. They can all be pulled out. But, you know, if you're looking for a cab, they are extremely hard to get that are, you know, in a repairable condition. Obviously the same here, it's starting to go. That can be unpicked. Same with here. Probably have to end up doing a patch all the way through there. Some like to go up in here. This one does look like it's starting to there, and it's starting to go there. So I'll probably end up doing a patch through here. But, you know, it's even got the cab corners, like, that's all metal. That same sealer there, but that is all metal. As for this roof, you know, it's starting to go here. It's going up in this back corner. That's pretty standard. The roof's coming off of this car. I can guarantee it. Roof, gutters, but it is what it is. Like cow panels are all, if they're not rusty, they're either bogged or someone's had a go putting an aerial in there. But beautiful. Let's have a look at the chassis. Chassis again, still got markings on there. One of these blokes have been torn off. Oh, as you can see, there's meant to be a nut in there, but there's none here. So I have to address that at a later date. But like all these nice and clean. This one's a bit, how you going, but it's not the worst I've seen. That'll clean up. Same here. They'll all blast up. There's no rust in here. This is where they like to go. They also like to crack through here and through here. But this will probably get the kidney plates welded on it once it's been blasted. What else have we got? Here it's good. No rust there. Other side's the same. And as for these, well, they're notorious for rusting, but this one's, you know, that's all metal. So it's a good chassis to start with. The only downfall of this chassis is this. Someone's obviously picked it up from that, and yeah, it's out of shape now. But I do have another one of these off my other 1 tonner, so I can just brace it through here, cut it off and put the other one on, and nobody will know except me and whoever's watching. All right, so before I lift this up, again, wanted to run through just this bar and how I do it. So I've got this, obviously this long bar that runs across the whole length, and then I've got these smaller ones. These smaller ones are here to keep the straps off the gutters. There's tension on it now, and as you can see, there's a bit of room there, and we've got plenty of room there. So I'm not quite central, so I can shift the whole thing over a little bit, but as you can see, it lifts pretty effortless. I can do it by myself. Also try and keep it as close to the front as I can possible. Obviously the front's got the firewall and everything on it, so that's the heaviest spot. So yeah, try and keep the bar as close as I can to the front, and yeah, it's pretty easy to do by yourself. Might not be the best way. Someone else might have a better idea of how to do it, but you know, I can do this by myself and wheel the chassis in or out, so I'm happy with how I do it. Now that the cabin chassis is at the shed, I can start getting stuck into getting this thing stripped back. First off was the cowl panel to unveil what the plenum was like and if I had to replace or repair the plenum. I decided to do the cowl panel in 2 sections. As you can see, the dash frame's still on there. I did it this way because it's a lot easier to get the spot welds at the base of the dash. I plan on replacing the cowl panel and not repairing, so it really didn't matter how it come off as long as it come off, but this way I found was a lot easier doing it in 2 pieces, and as you can see from the video, it didn't take very long to remove the dash part of it. After the cowl panel was off, it was time to tackle the roof. Roofs on these 1-tonners and utes are the Achilles heel of these things, and they're prone to rusting out, so in my mind from the get-go, before I even dragged this thing around, I was going to take the whole roof skin off. So first off, we're just sweating the lead out. This is a necessary procedure when removing the roof skin on these cars. Even if I wasn't removing the roof skin off this, I would probably still sweat the lead out, just because every car that I've seen that's had it done, or I've done it too, normally it has rust behind the lead. Now what we're doing here I speak on a bit further into the video, so I'll leave that for future me to tell you about. You never know what's lurking under there. Well, we all do now. So that's the cow and the roof turret done. On to the next bit. Alright, so now that the roof and the cow panel is off, we're going to be taking the plenum off. I am going to replace this. I'm not going to try and save this because by the time I take this off, do all my repairs, blast it, epoxy it, it's probably going to be more cost efficient and better off time wise just to buy a new one. This actually needs about half a dozen repairs in it. While I'm taking that off, I'm also going to be taking the gutters off. Now, if you've never seen a roof like this, like me, or you want to, you got to repair your rust in your roof, or you want to remove your gutters for some reason. The gutters they're joined in two ways. Now, they are joined to the roof by a rolled spot weld, as you can see from the corrugation here. That's that all spot welded through there. And they've also got these coming off of it. So that's all a part of the gutter. So to take these off, obviously I've separated it from the roof. I just cut it as low as I could on the roof. I'm going to replace these. I'm not going to remove them. I personally don't like them when people remove the gutters because I don't think they do much forward planning, because the window trim rolls into the gutter. So obviously people who take their gutters off, when they put their window trim on, they're going to have their trim going to nowhere, and I think that looks really cheap. So we're going to keep the gutters. I'm not going to try and save these. I'm just going to remove and replace. You can buy them by the length. All I need to do to take them off now is spot welds along here. But yeah, if you want to take your roof off, you got to cut it. Obviously you can cut it anywhere through here. You could cut the gutter off and just slip something up through there and knock him off. Or yeah, as I have, I've just got my blade and cut it through there like that and gone along. I did do it to try and save the gutter, but I think I'm better off just replacing them. Alright, so now that this thing's somewhat unpicked, we're going to be putting it into the shed and doing some bracing in it. I didn't do it before because I didn't plan on it coming this far apart, but now that it's this far apart, I've decided I'm going to brace it and then keep unpicking. So let's get it into the shed.
Leave his head alone.
Say hello, Neckies.
In this situation, just when I think of you, my fingers started shaking. I've known you for 2 days, I'm sorry I forgot your name. It's not your fault, but just believe my heart is breaking into two.
nice piece of shit.
Everyone knows if you're going to do a good weld, you're going to do it on your practice pace. And with that, let's do a quick walkthrough of this. So I've got this bar through the posts. These are going to be my pickup points for the gantry, also because I'm going to remove this. And I've got some cross braces. If you remember back to primary school, you'll remember that the triangle is the strongest shape. As you can see, I've utilised the seatbelt bolts. They go to there, and the cross brace. And I've got one across the floor. This one, because this whole floor is coming out to here, where it's joined. This one will give me reference to where the trans tunnel should be. And I've got some cross ones going up to the pillar again, and another one up to the bulkhead, because right now, next up, so I've got one coming off to the bulkhead here. That's because this is coming off, the firewall, the dash is coming off, and like I said, the floor's coming off, so I really need that bracing to hold all this in place, which is why there's so much bracing here. I added in these at the last minute just because I thought these would fold in once the firewall's unattached, but I might end up adding a bit more in there, who knows. But at this stage, this is what it is. So I'm going to be unpicking the dash. I'm going to keep it attached to the firewall so I don't have to unpick this. So all I'll be doing is drilling out these spot welds along here, cutting it through that lovely weld. Looks like I've already been here. And that should be it for the dash. Like I said, I'm going to keep it attached to the firewall. Then I'll take the firewall off. The reason for that is, as you can see all along here, it's all rusting at the join, and I've got to, I'd have to cut it through here, and I might as well just unpick and take off the whole thing. And it will make putting the floor pan in a lot easier without the firewall being there. I can just slip it straight in. So these ones should be fun. I'm just going to wire wheel and expose all the spot welds all along here. I think the other side's about the same. Yeah, I've got rust here, and here, and here, and here, and everywhere. But that will be a lot easier to repair off the car. So yeah, I'll take that off. And then I can do the floor, because we don't keep repairs like that. It doesn't fit anywhere, it's rough, and it's just garbage at best. So let's get this firewall off. Oh, where'd that go? That was quick. Just kidding, it's over here. So how I unpicked it was I actually cut it on this edge here, and I'll grind down the spot welds all along here off the car. Be a lot easier. I also said I was going to keep this on here, but as you can see, it's there's no strength in it at all. So what I'm going to do is, it's got 2 spot welds here and another 2 on this side, and I'll take the dash frame off. That's just purely for storage reasons. It'll be less likely to get damaged being apart from the firewall. But yeah, it's pretty hassle free. It's very, very rough in here. I mean, there's still paint there, but there's rust. That ain't gonna clean up. There's only one way to fix that, and that's to replace it. Same with this side. As you can see on here, it's much the same. I mean, there's good paint there, and but there's surface rust, and there's a bit deeper than surface rust, so some of that will get replaced. The other side, I know there was moisture getting in here and other things getting in here because there was a spider's egg right there. Well, it's still there. And yeah, this side's a bit worse than the other side. Inside, yeah, fabulous. So that's him off. All right, that's going to do us for today. I hope you enjoyed it and it was informative. Like I said in the video, I am going to be removing the floor pan. The best way to tackle that is for this thing to be on a rotisserie. So next video, this thing will be going on the rotisserie and we'll be removing the entire floor pan. And then we can start getting this thing prepped and ready for sandblasting and repairing. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.